And if you're down for more infotainment, information, and entertainment, like and subscribe in between the lines.
In between the lines, we are back after a Peach Bowl blowout. Joe, Indiana destroyed Oregon. I don't even 55-26. What's your thoughts on the Indiana Hoosiers?
Just below, Vaughn, just below a professional football team. Just below. The New York Jets and the Las Vegas Raiders, they cannot beat, Indiana cannot beat them because they're grown men. I understand that. But Indiana, professionalism, Indiana, their quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, the way they go about executing, no penalties, self discipline on the football field, that is a great team. A great team with the Heisman Trophy winner. All right, so we can't mess up the fact that Fernando Mendoza is a Heisman Trophy winner. He's spectacular. That team and the early Vegas spread is what, in your opinion, Vaughn?
What
Who's
before?
favored by what, in your opinion?
I don't know. I can't even. Indiana should be favorite, I would think.
Okay, according to Vegas, go ahead.
Yeah, but I don't know. 7 points, 7 point favorite.
Man, you cheating.
No,
Did
I'm
you
just
cheat?
talking off the top of my head. You know, I don't be.
I know you don't cheat. Vaughn, you spot on.
Seven
Vegas
point favorite.
has Indiana favored in their backyard, so to speak, of Miami by 7 points. Yes, yes, and I think it's going to be a blowout.
Oh wow, we gonna get into that, but we got a special guest calling in. Darren, what's up, brother? Let me ask you this, because I know we was talking about before with Mendoza, the Heisman winner for Indiana, Fernando Mendoza. Was you able to tune in and see the game yesterday? And is he better than what you expected, or has he showed basically from blowing out Alabama and blowing out Oregon? Is he better than expected?
I would say this. He's definitely a really, really, really good quarterback. Just looking at talent, just from him. Me, I don't base it on the blowouts from the games, because that's always, for me, I always say it's a collective work of everything, offense and defense, that contributes to that. But what I see from him, which is that ball that comes out of his hand, the maneuverability that he puts, I wouldn't say he's higher than what I expected. He's showing what's expected, from what I can see. And that's a good thing, he looks better than a lot of quarterbacks. I think a lot of these other quarterbacks, they team kind of fell short on the skill set for them, But as far as Mendoza goes, he's impressive. He got a good arm. Now I will add this little tidbit. I do know that Ole Miss, they lost the other day, but I think Trinidad arm, in my opinion, looks better. I like the way Trinidad. I like for me, I like the way he throws better than Mendoza, but there hasn't been enough film, I would say, to show, Trinidad's full extent. But we'll see the coming days, coming months, where these two go to. Because it's very clear that both of them will make it to the league. So we'll see what comes out of them.
Joe, what you got? I think that's a great point, but like you said, I'm gonna speak for myself. I wasn't I thought Mendoza was good. He was tough, but what he been doing in the playoffs is almost perfect. He got more touchdowns than he got incompletions in the playoffs. He had 5 touchdowns yesterday. He had 3 touchdowns against Alabama, only 2 incompletions versus Alabama, and only 3 incompletions versus Oregon. So he got 8 touchdowns with only 5 incompletions in 2 games, about to be playing in the national championship. And not to mention, his defense is great. He don't turn the ball over. His running game is good. He doing.
How did this happen?
Yeah, one thing I noticed yesterday, and I also made a comment. Now he had some very impressive throws, and one of them was made the top 10 this morning. Was made a throw, threw it right over the head of the defender. But some of the throws he threw was slightly off, but the players that's receiving the ball made the catch, and that right there adds to it. You know, and I like I said, I always say it's a collective thing when it comes to evaluating these victories. You know, as a team, you know, that's the way I see it, because some of those throws, any other player probably would have missed those throws, man. Like one of them was a touchdown pass. The dude was stumbling as he caught the ball, you know, but he made the catch. The ball wasn't thrown too perfect, but some of the other ones was like, you know, you can't deny it was over perfect. It was way over perfect. He threw an amazing throw. But some of those plays, I think the other players made him look even better than what we was already looking at him as, and that's a good point, I should say.
Yeah, he said even better. I like that the wording, Darren, even better, because Mendoza is good, but if the guys can catch the ball, that's even better. However, I would say this: Mendoza put some balls in the hands of his receivers last night that where he threw it and he could almost catch it for him. That it was just, I mean, in this those balls are not floating. You remember, Darren? You remember, Vaughn? A Matt Ryan ball had a little bit of air under it, that it didn't have the velocity to where it was like a rope. No. Mendoza throws a rope. He throws a rope. He's more athletic, and I don't know the negatives. For me, and I didn't want him, and I told Vaughn, I don't think he's the number one overall pick. I don't want him on my team because he's a statue. But he impressed me last night with his legs a little bit. The play that he fumbled, I mean, he showed a little burst.
He's sneaky
like,
quick.
Oh.
He's sneaky quick. Just like how we thought Shedeur was a tree back there and could barely move. He's 6'5" and hard to bring down.
So if I told you two guys this, and I firmly believe this is what I'm seeing Mendoza. If I told you guys that this is a carbon copy of Joe Flacco, would y'all still want him as the number one overall pick? Because that's who he reminds me of.
Joe Flacco had an arm coming out of college, and
exactly.
Yeah, Joe Flacco is the real deal.
That is who Fernando Mendoza remind me of. Throwing the ball, deadly accurate, strong arm, not over athletic, but can get the job done. That's who he reminds me of.
One thing I love about Mendoza is he keep his faith first. He's always talking about God first.
Absolutely.
But thinking about going back to the national championship, he's gonna be playing at home, so he had to go way out. He went somewhere first, then went to Cal, then now transferred because his younger brother is the backup quarterback for Indiana. And think about again how good it had to feel as a dad to see both sons getting in the college football semifinals. That Mendoza last name is just ringing as they went on to win 56-22. And really, Oregon scored like the last minute of the game. It was ugly. It was ugly. I think everybody cut their TV off unless you was paid to watch it.
I want to add this little point too for what I just said earlier too. In comparison, Carson Beck, his game that he played, some of those catches that his catches missed. You know, if it was like, to me, I was seeing some of the same things, but in reverse was Mendoza's receivers was making the catches. Even the ones that were slightly overthrown or slightly off, they was making the catches. You know, and I wonder how people will be talking about Carson Beck if because they should score just as many points that Indiana scored, you know, in their game, but they didn't because they dropped so many doggone passes. It was ridiculous.
They dropped passes, they dropped picks. But Carson Beck, I feel like Carson Beck is he won the game for sure. That game, Miami, and I'm not a Carson Beck fan, but he won that game for Ole Miss with that last drive and keeping his composure. But Carson Beck is a game manager. They tell Carson Beck, don't lose us the game. Get the ball to Franklin. Get the ball to Tony. Get the ball to Daniel. Short, intermediate. Let them break tackles and get us what we gonna get. And if you see somebody wide open, then throw it. And at the end, we still believe in you to drive down. In third down, we not afraid to let you pass it. But Mendoza got the doors wide open. They don't need to sling it for 300 yards because they know they defense not giving up much. And we just need Mendoza not to turn the ball over. Thanks for tuning in to In Between the Lines, where nothing is out of bounds and adversity is the opportunity to adjust and overcome. Be sure to like and subscribe to In Between the Lines.